Everyone, I'm Jude, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. I'm going to share the chart with you and let you know about the astrology for this week. The sun sign horoscopes are up on the Light Goddess podcast, so you can watch those there. We have a lot going on. This is just such a change, such a powerful time of transformation that we're going through. And there is extreme astrology week after week after week, and it's powerful what we're going through. We're going through an awakening on the planet, that people are waking up to the programming that's been in the culture, to the patriarchy, to the lineage of the devastating behavior of so many humans, and humans that are just hurting other humans, colonizing, taking control, killing, raping, and really just about money and pride and greed and all of these things that really are not what people are really about, right? Real people that are of heart. And so we have the sun still in Leo here, and it is now in opposition to Saturn. And so this can be domineering and controlling and in the ego, or it can be of the heart. And so each one chooses for themselves how they use this energy. So this is creative action, really about taking creative action. And with Venus at 5 degrees here of Leo and conjunct Ceres, the goddess of fertility, of agriculture, of grains, it is that it is the seeds of life, the what we plant, what we nurture, what nurtures us, what feeds us. So Ceres is really about what feeds and nurtures us. And in Leo, this heart, this love is where we want to go. And this Venus here about our relationships and our abundance. And is it coming from greed, or is it coming from this place within, this awakened place of understanding real life and understanding people and humanity and freeing other souls? What are we working for here? And the Saturn is about this new paradigm of work. Saturn is definitely the old control system, and that square to Uranus has been activated now. Uranus at 18 degrees of Taurus and Saturn at 21 degrees retrograde in Aquarius. This square here that happened in January and February, rather, in February and June and December of all of 2021. But this has a different flavor because the North Node is here, and the North Node only went into Taurus on January 29th this year. And so they've had this conjunction. So they're conjunct for all of August, meaning that our destiny connected to this Uranus energy, this awakening. So our destiny, our true destiny as humans of the divine feminine waking up within humanity itself, right? The divine feminine is what has been suppressed. It's the love, the creation energy. It is the energy of emotions and inner knowing. It's the high priestess that is the oracular priestess, that women were the first seers and diviners and priestesses, thought to be the most connected to source and the sacred, and they were revered and honored. And all of humanity was living in equality during goddess culture times. And then the patriarchy surged forward. And patriarchy is a word that often triggers divine masculine men. And so it's kind of an interesting thing where there's not a lot of information in the culture that patriarchy is bad for men and women. It's not about gender. Patriarchy doesn't serve anyone except a small group of white males. And so I have to understand the lineage of what we're dealing with here, that now we've incarnated to be in the patriarchy and dismantle it from the inside out. And that's what's happening with this Uranus. This Uranus is allowing so many people to wake up and wake up and wake up. So no matter what the patriarchy is doing, it's really important to have knowledge and understanding about the spells and the brainwashing so we can deprogram those, but to understand that we must just create our beautiful work into the world so that more souls can be free, so more souls can awaken. And that's our work. That's our work to do here. Fighting the systems that are crumbling anyways is not necessary. There's there's new age pimps, there's cult leaders, there's narcissists, there's just ordinary darkness and evil about roaming about and doing what they do. And what's important is you being an autonomous human in your own authority as a woman, powerful, as a leader, leading humanity and helping to do your important work in this world that frees other souls and awakens other people. And the sun has this square to the south node still, so there is this energy, but the sun is moving off that square, but there's still this energy of the past being shown to us. Jupiter and Aries about our new story and about great autonomy and independence and about charging forward into something new. Being retrograde, we're reviewing our story from the last 6 months and really looking at what needs to dislodge, what we're not taking forward. It's kind of like sifting flour, where we're going to pick out all of the little chunks and get those out of there, and so that the beautiful clear flour can move through the sift and be even more refined and even more clear. So we're gaining clarity up until December as Jupiter's in retrograde, reviewing old stories as they come up. But with it being this fire sign, it's really about what we're creating in this life. So like, what's not going to go forward with us that we created? What did we create that we want to dismantle and let go of? And this past energy of the South Node and Scorpio, the intensities, the darker experiences that we've had, the challenges, and we're reviewing those. And there's so much sifting up from the subconscious that's healing and working itself out at the moment. And the Saturn is about this new way. Saturn is the spell of the patriarchy. It's the establishment. It's the old guard. It's the way that life has been. And this Saturn, this Aquarius, and this Aquarius, Uranus and Taurus. So it's like Saturn, is an earthy planet, but it's also an air planet, right? But we really think of Saturn so much as more of this Capricorn vibe. We often kind of forget that Saturn is this air planet. So it's air and earth. Saturn's an air and earth planet and really offers us this. But Saturn and Aquarius, it was only Aquarius, we discovered Uranus later. So Aquarius has this modern ruler of Uranus, which it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to really have Uranus and Aquarius connected. However, if we look at Saturn and Aquarius, we almost see the shadow side of Aquarius, this conformity, this going along with the status quo. Everybody's needs to be the same, everybody wearing the same spacesuit. It's kind of silly, this whole Pleiadian reptilian myth that's in the culture. And mythos are important stories to help us understand, to help us to not understand, to help us understand ourselves, to help us understand our own psyche soul, and to help us move forward into being powerful creators and autonomy and understanding humility and our egos and understanding all the aspects of ourself in this earthly plane life. So mythos stories have important places, but this reptilian Pleiadians thing it's just another version of heaven and hell or God and the devil. The devil doesn't exist. And I talk a lot about spirit, but it's really this singularity of love, this greater consciousness, right? You could really say that really God doesn't exist, that spirit, I call it spirit, but spirit is animating in all things. We are spirit. there's so much complexity to it. A lot of that is what our human brains don't necessarily can always grasp in greater detail, or we grasp enough and we're solid and we feel good and we don't necessarily have more questions, or some of us just keep asking questions ad finite. And you know, it's an interesting place where we're at with humanity, because we can really have the curiosity and exploration and have such a great time in this world and really be in the vision of the dream. And so the Saturn, it's like there really isn't a God. I mean, there really is just consciousness and existence and bliss and love and the singularity of love. Like, it's about being, we are evolving as humanity towards an evolution of humanity being motivated from an emotional knowing place. If you look at a lot of the children coming in now, they're just really motivated emotionally. They just know what they want and what they don't want. They're not coming from fear. Our old ways as humans is really coming from fear. And I've never really, it's interesting. I didn't think I was going to talk about God in this way and say there's no God, but it's like there's no devil, then there's no God. It's like there's light and shadow and everything. There is shadow and light, and light and shadow. We have this idea of a goddess or a god because it helps us have like a parent figure to go to. And what do we go to without that? It's really important not to make life meaningless. We need meaning in our life. And so this idea of a goddess god is helpful for us to have some sort of thing out there to talk to be nurtured by, to connect with, to have some connection. But it can be anything you want it to be. The point is that there's a lot of myths in the spiritual community, and this Pleiadian reptilian thing is one of them. And you know, there's no such thing as reptilians. It's just a story, and there is really no such thing as like just darkness. There's darkness and light and darkness. Sex offenders and horrible abusive people have good about them, or good that they do, and and great people of light and divine people have shadow, and it's just part of this world. And this Scorpio South Node just wants to have just such a cut and dry, just such a black and white. And that's what we're shedding in humanity. We're looking to be this more evolved Scorpio that understands. Scorpio understands behind the veil. Scorpio understands the mystical side of life, the spiritual side of life, the occult, the hidden. You know, Scorpio understands that, the water sign. And then you have Pisces also, which is this sign of spirit and the ethereal, but it's more of that finer energy of poetry and love and unconditional compassion and all of that. So the Saturn here with Aquarius, you know, Saturn has this hexagonal shaped storm going on the top of Saturn. And it's like Saturn is the establishment. It is the industrial era complex. It is the industrial medical complex. It is the industrial pharmaceutical complex. It is the you know, the industrial you know, what's, you know, agricultural complex. It is the industrial indoctrination of our children complex of Texas Instruments in schools, right? And so this is rearing its ugly head now to work to keep women in prison, captured, to make you doubt yourself as a woman, to disregard your, to make you have low self-worth, to make you second guess yourself, question what you can do. And then with women, we're already on the heels of having been suppressed for 5,000 years. Suppression is when people know they're doing it to you. Repression is when you don't know you're repressing material. And so the suppression of women for 5,000 years was patriarchy, where the colonizers came in and they raped and killed the men. This is what's happening here, is that this part of society is really rising up against women more and more, and they have done that all throughout history. And so what we have to realize is that that's not where to put our focus. I mean, it's important to know information, but it's not where to put our focus. Where to put our focus in is what you can create with this Leo sun, being in your heart and really being of love, this Venus and Leo, this understanding with this sun square to destiny, square to Uranus and Taurus, new earth, square to Mars and Taurus, intuitive action, is saying make a choice that your creative action, that your ego, Leo, sun and Leo, that your heart is all aligned with this higher purpose of destiny and this new earth and this masculine, this divine masculine, this Mars transforming into this divine masculine and taking action for the divine feminine, taking action for peace and equality and harmony, taking action for what's worthy in this world. Is it worthy in this world to uphold the patriarchy? So many women uphold the patriarchy. They want nothing more than a man's approval, and they work for that, and they take pictures on Instagram for that, and they post that, and they demur to men and dismiss women, and they kowtow to men. And you can just read people's energy and just see the self-worth issues rolling off women. And this is what we're all doing together, women goddesses, this is what we're doing, is we are helping other women to heal these self-worth wounds and these deep wounds, these deep issues, so that we can all move forward collectively to establish the light and the divine in this new way of life. More people are waking up all across the world. And so realize that it's happening. This moon in Aries that we had starting on Sunday, late Sunday, it's just this fiery moon that's intense, that wants to take action and get things done. And so capitalize on this energy today. It is square Black Moon Lilith, so it's like taking action for the divine feminine, taking action for where you no longer are going to be repressed and subservient, taking action for the collective divine feminine, Cancer, taking action for the collective women, taking action for women, which helps men. When women move into their empowerment, it lifts men up. And we're not talking about malignant masculine men, we're talking about divine men. It lifts divine men up and helps them step into their health and their healing and their growth and their evolution and their advancement. So it's so powerful as women, how we affect everyone around us for the better. It's the whole rising sea thing, that when, a woman, the Pisces, the water, when the oceans rise, it raises all the boats. And for whatever reason, the patriarchy is just very just wants that power and control, and they don't have emotions like we do. They don't think about people as people. They think about everything as a commodity. People aren't people to them. They don't feel love and compassion and these types of emotions. They don't feel that. We have to start realizing that there's a depravity in humanity. There's a depravity, and we don't need to be scared of it. We don't need to be afraid of it. Same thing. We don't need to put it down and be vehement towards it, because that doesn't serve anything. That just keeps us chained to these narratives and these stories, instead of focusing on what we're creating together, which is very powerful, and it's very amazing. And it's about living your vision, living your best life. I got news for you. The dark and the patriarchy, the established order, the old ways, they're living just fine, and they're doing their dark business and what they want to do and having fun. Like, it's time for us as women to make money, live our dream, live the vision, have amazing fun, and free other souls, and to be in your amazing life. And so there's a lot of past coming up. There's a quintile from Pluto to the South Node in Scorpio, and Pluto in Capricorn. So that quintile is this creative divine insights coming through for the past, related to your power, and like where you're retrieving your power from the past, from the subconscious issues with parents, with past lives, with the darkness that you've gone through in your life, and the pain, loss, and challenge, with sexual issues. with self-worth. So, and money, other people's money, getting that from your clients and so forth. So there's a quintile there. So there's this creative energy of solutions and insights, and it's very internal. And of course the water signs are very internal. So really realizing self-worth, it's almost like the whole imposter syndrome thing. It's not real. Self-worth is about, there's shit you got to heal, there's shit you got to face, there's emotions you need to let go. It's like, how do you do that? That's what I do in Alchemical Goddess. That's what we do, is we remove every, like Michelangelo said when he was carving the statue, that the statue already existed inside, that he just peeled away the marble from what was already there. And it's like, we just take away everything that is stopping you from being in the truth of who you are, which is that you're a unique woman, be you as fuck, that you are authentic and real, that you are an amazing empowered woman, and that you have so much wisdom and a voice, and you have so much inside of you that wants to come up and out for the people, so you can bring your medicine to the people. So we just, peel away all the shadows and the stuff. And that's what we do in Alchemical Goddess. That's what we do in Light Goddess. That's what the podcast is about. There's 424 episodes now. I don't know. There's over 400 episodes of the Light Goddess podcast that, if you listen to them, it will raise your frequency, and it will help you on the spiritual journey. It will help you on the divine feminine awakening journey. Absolutely. And we talk about thoughts and managing the mind, which is part of this personality, which is this vehicle for our soul. We are not the thoughts. We are not this personality. And on the spiritual journey, it can be a while before it integrates to where you feel soul, and you're really looking from a soul perspective. And it's amazing to live life in this way, to really be in this place. We have rebirth. So definitely with the South Node, Scorpio energy, and this Pluto energy that, gosh, we had so much of last week too. There's a rebirth happening, and a rebirth into this new place, this full moon that apexed and peaked last week, and this amazing energy of the square to the sun, to our destiny point as humans in the new earth, and taking action for the divine feminine ways of equality and justice and fairness, and realizing how important you are as a woman, that you're a hinge pin of changing things in humanity. So we have trust. And what do you need to trust as a woman? Here's the thing about trust, is that it's not about trusting other people. It's about trusting your journey through life. And most women go through a phase of needing to work with that, whether it's meaninglessness, or whether it is understanding like that you're important, you matter, you have a purpose here, because we're so conditioned and socialized as women to not think that we matter, to think that men are who matter. And it's humanity that matters, right? It's all people. So, but as women, we're taught to dismiss other women. We're taught to defer to men. We're taught to look to men, to their authority, to them for answers, to them for protection, to them for safety, to them for knowledge. And we're not taught that we have something inside of us that matters. Not only that, but how powerful we are as women. We're not taught how powerful we are as women. We're taught to be afraid, to fear, to not know, to be ignorant to our power. And we're taught to uphold the patriarchy. It's really crazy. And we have leadership, standing in your leadership as a woman, understanding what you're doing here in this incarnation, that you're freeing souls from the programming, from the thinking that you just live with some challenge or difficulty forever, that you don't live in your wounds. You heal others from your wounds. You heal your wounds, and that understanding, that experience is what gives you that wisdom, that understanding, that higher knowledge, So the sanctuary, like, where is your sanctuary? Where's the inner sanctuary from which is your well that you're drawing upon to do your work every day, to do your work in the world, to get everything done that you do in your life? Are you making sure that that inner sanctuary and that your cup is full? and that you're fully resourced woman, which means you have stimulation that's healthy, not scrolling, not mindless crap, not, types of activities that are really dark, but they're stimulating. So it's like, are you getting your stimulation from healthy, wholesome places? I used to think wholesome was such a dirty word. And it's just like, what is wrong with wholesome? You don't have to be a prude to be wholesome. So it's like really reclaiming the goodness of people in life, reclaiming it as not boring and not being boring. It's like there's something about like wholesomeness and marriage and family and all these things that are really conflated with boring. And I got news for you. A lot of people that have all that or do that are boring. And so that's this funky thing where we got to bring the joy and the amazing life and the adventure and innovation and fun and like adventure and fun back to the wholesome part of life and put them together again. And I have passion. It's like this Leo sun, this Leo Venus. It's like this passion, this enthusiasm, this self-possession, it's creation energy, it's creative actions from the ethereal fires that come down in this light and just create out of passion and joy and play and romance and love and just creating and being in love with life. Venus and Leo just loves love. And we have miracles. Ask for a miracle. Believe in miracles. If miracles aren't happening, something's wrong. They're normal. If you didn't know that, they're normal. Do you have a narcissist in your life? If you think you're crazy, do you have a narcissist in your life? Look around your life for crazy people if you're thinking you're crazy. You have freedom, and it's that freedom to be an autonomous woman. People throw around the word sovereign, and it's a pretty word, but autonomous is actually what we mean when we say sovereign. They mean different things. And it's this freedom from codependency, freedom from looking to a man for answers, looking to a man for safety, looking to a man to know. As women, we don't grow up with like kind of the ideas that men do. Like men grow up kind of thinking you're going to take care of stuff. You have to be on your own. You have to do it all on your own. And then of course they have the boys club and the friends and all the people, right? And women, we're not taught that. We're subconsciously, if you're not taught it directly, we are subconsciously still groomed and taught as women growing up to think that you're going to have a husband that's going to take care of certain things like the car or the mowing the grass or like these types of supposedly male duties or what have you. Like as women, we're not taught how powerful we are and how amazing we are and how we can do anything and everything, and you don't need anyone to do anything. You are the most resourceful person that I guarantee you that you are so more resourceful than you've ever realized or thought about before. And if you really think about it, if you are put in situations where you have to figure it out and you have to come up with the answers, not only do you have your own inner knowing that just leads you and guides you and helps you get to the places but also you will do it. You will find the answer. You will do the thing. You will make stuff happen. You will make sure you have food. You will make sure you have shelter. You will make sure that you're okay. You will make sure that you find the solution to the technology issue. You will find the solution to the things going awry at your events. You will find the solutions to projects or people leaving or things changing or things come up. We have to realize that the instinctual nature teaches us, which is of course a Pinko Estes quote, because I adore this woman. I love her. And this is this quote from her that the instinctual nature teaches us that we respond to challenge as it occurs, that we don't have to be in anticipatory anxiety and fear. And that's that amygdala brain that we are evolving out of. And many of us have already evolved out of that and just live from this emotional place. So sending you so much love today, and pull one more card. Step into your freedom as a woman and your autonomy and your individuation, and which means facing the shadow and the light. polarity. All right. Sending you so much love. And I'll talk to you on the next Divine Feminine Uprising Astrology Daily. Lots of love.